Okay, hello. Hello, friends.
Sure.
Hello, Teresa. Hello, thank you so much for joining me. This is Freedom Mastery, and this is week 3 of our series on awakening to your greatness. Everybody has a principle of power within, and that is God within us. I do believe, and I love sharing more about what I've learned and my studies on this. So, the most recent books that I've been reading are, of course, Robert Hollis's book, How Is That Working? And I always recommend, if you haven't read that, to read this book. And then this one, The Science of Being Great by Wallace Wattles. And these are my resources right now for this study. So if you don't have those two books, you can find a copy in the files section of Freedom Mastery. And there's an audio of this book actually as well. So listen to the audio. I listen to it while I'm driving in the car, while I'm taking a shower, over and over again. This is the kind of content that keeps feeding your soul without you even knowing it. Like I sometimes in like meditation will come to like a quote or a statement or something. And sure enough, it'll end up being something that I've read in here or that I've covered before. It's like God will bring it back up again. It's amazing. So daily, my daily things I always recommend for everybody to do in some way is meditate, pray, and play. So make sure you're doing all 3 of those things. And now we're going to get into the course, to the class today. And today, the first question, this is the big question today. What is a great social perspective? So we are in, some people call it network marketing, some people call it social marketing. But if we're here on Facebook, we're portraying and also living some kind of social perspective, right? We have our own perspective. Everybody has their own perspective, which is based usually on our previous history, right? Everything we've learned, all the people in our lives, all our mentors and coaches. I hope good things have led to your perspective for whatever your perspective is now. But what I have found is that there's always improvements in our perspectives and in kind of our paradigm and how we see things. There's always something kind of new to grasp. So what this study is really, really inspiring is to always believe that there's more, to desire more, to know that the desire for more is okay as well. I struggled with that at first, desiring more. Like I would ask myself, so does that mean I'm not content? But it's okay. It's okay. We're created for growth, and we're actually created to continue experiencing more and more and more, to receive more, know and expect that more is coming too. That's a big one, expecting it, because then when it's coming, it's like you're already feeling it. You're already expecting it. You already know it's coming. And then when it comes, it's like it's the celebration. So beautiful. It's already there waiting. And that's what I like. When I start to want something, or have a desire for something, I always come back into within and remind myself that what that want and desire is actually already there. And that's the reason I'm wanting it, because it's out there. God's got it there for me. If it's good for me, right? If it's something obviously that's going to build me, build my family, be good for me, it's things that are good for us. But it's already there waiting for us. So what are 4 ways that we can be sure we continue to have this great perspective, right? That the world is incomplete, but advancing, right? It's nothing wrong with anybody or anything. Everything is evolving and advancing. So what are 4 ways? So 1 is to have an unwavering faith. And I mentioned this in the last call, and this is probably going to be mentioned a lot because it is really, really part of the foundation for everything. Lincoln, again, during the dark days of the war, he was standing for freedom. He was standing for something that most people weren't standing for. And, to claim his faith over his fear, despite what even advisors were telling him to do, was huge. And everybody didn't like it. And that meant everybody didn't like him. So even though you have unwavering faith for something, know there are some people that aren't going to have faith for that and that aren't going to see the things that you see. And that's okay. I don't try to convince people to see the way I see anymore. I used to be a convincer, or try to be. But more so, we convince people through our actions, through our life, through our living, right? The course in the file section, the Science of Getting Rich talks about that, how we are just to be an example to live an abundant life. We are to show our abundance, show the celebrations, show the world that we're living. You know, I used to be hesitant to post stuff like I posted today. My husband just got a new truck, because I'd be like, oh, I don't want people to think, oh, she's just bragging, and oh, she's just putting all that out there, and, you know, not like us, kind of maybe think that we have a wrong, you know, kind of intention. But my intention is to live my life exactly the way we're living it, with all of our blessings and with everything God's giving us. So every time we win something, or we get something, or we, you know, achieve another level of success, I just share it right away on Facebook, and I let everybody know, because that's who you will then attract as well. And it's happening. It's happening, because now, even today, as a matter of fact, on the truck post, friend of mine also posted they just got a new truck on Friday. So you start to attract people that, I get in the chills talking about this, because not only do you start to see winning in your life, so as you celebrate your wins and have that faith that more is coming, you'll start to see more. You'll start to see more in other people. It's beautiful. It's so, so beautiful. So unwavering faith. And so here's another thing too to remember though about faith. We're not necessarily having faith in ourselves or in things, people, right? Faith, what we're talking about is faith in the principle that anything really is possible, and that God really does have it waiting what we're looking for, right? Not in anything that we do or anything that anybody else is going to do for us, but just in the principle that there is something great there, and that it's waiting and coming. And also faith in the victory, that it's going to come in due time, that we are achieving that. I often see people say, I'm trying to do this, or I'm trying to do that, when in reality, they're already doing it. So just by changing a couple of words really does change perspective. So faith in principle first, and in victory, and then in others, in yourself, of course, too. So number 2 is to see yourself as evolving, and as, instead of being imperfect, being incomplete. And that's just so big, because I'm an overcoming, you know, I used to tear myself up. I would talk to myself negatively all day. I always thought of myself as just not good enough. And once I really realized and came to that awareness that I am great right now, I'm just incomplete. And every day that we are alive, and every day that we wake up and take a breath in the morning, is another day that God wants to complete us. And how beautiful is that? That every single day we have another journey in our life. It's just so beautiful for new things to happen. So make this your point of view. See that all the world is advancing and just simply not complete yet. So I have been applying this in my situations, and anytime I come to situations where I don't agree with people, or I don't agree with situations, or I don't agree with whatever, and I run that through my mind, okay, this is a situation that's just simply not complete yet. It doesn't seem to be working out right now, but I'm going to trust and have faith that this is going to flow, and the right things are going to come. I'm going to attract what I need. God's already got there for me what I need. And not focusing on what's not right, or what I think to be not right, what I perceive to be right. So we're created to grow. The plants grow, babies grow, industry, technology, society, even though we see so much that could be negative, that we could be complaining about. And you do see people posting, fighting stuff. And I just, these amazing, crazy successful mentors and coaches are recommending that we don't complain about these things. I mean, this book, both of these books actually recommend not to complain about these, and instead seeing everything as advancing. The people make society what it is, right? So if we see the world as dark, horrible, a negative place, that means we also see the people that make up society that way. And that usually means that does come back within us somewhere. We see ourselves even though we don't even realize it at first. Like, I can't even remember the first time I really hard cried when I realized that I had such a negative perspective of myself. I was like, whoa, I deserve more than this. I don't deserve to beat myself up like this. So we are always advancing. So number 3 is remember your place as an advocate in this life experience. So big picture. I love every day to really, really work on focusing on the big picture, to let my cause lead my heart. You know, our voice and whatever that cause is that is close to your heart. Usually it comes from somewhere. I know the cause I give to personally here locally is a cause that helps foster children transition into safe homes. And, you know, I went through that. So that's such a cause that is so close to my heart. So when you're looking for a cause, get personal. It really helps because you'll attract people that you can truly help because of your experiences. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing to be an advocate to people that don't yet have their voice, because there are people that feel exactly the same way you did, gone through all the same things you did. Maybe they're still there. They don't even have a voice right now, where you already have your voice now, or you're growing your voice, or learning, you know, how to shift your story to then be an advocate versus a painful story. You know, bring the victory out. Wallace Wattles is just so amazing. His perspective really, really was just so far out from what I've ever read or heard of anybody, right? So here he explains the difference between an advancing mind, so someone that sees the world as advancing, or a non-advancing, descending, I guess, someone that sees the world as broken. So an advancing mind makes you advance and expand to grow greater. It enables you to work for the eternal things, to do large works in a great way. One with the descending or decreasing mind will cause you to grow smaller, and it is inharmonious and incomplete with the world, more doomsday kind of stuff. So, you know, when you're connecting on Facebook too, you know, I look at people's profiles before I connect with them or accept their friendship. Like when they request my friends, I'll go to their page and make sure that I resonate with them and that I feel good with them, because otherwise, why are they reaching out to me? What do they really want? Do they even know what they're doing? So, you know, yeah, we're looking for advancing minds, right? Like us. And Robert Hollis says it all the time. You know, when they did that mastermind last night, if any of you are in MDC and don't already follow Jenna Zwagel, she has an Escape Your Matrix course, and all business and very, very informative. So I was watching the replay of that today, and he talks about the people that he's looking for and how he's not, so when he started his business, he was an auto mechanic, right? Or was an auto mechanic. So his mentor was like, don't look for auto mechanics. You're looking for someone that's even advanced than you. Which that was a really big paradigm shift for me, because I realized I was you know, searching for gold where I was comfortable. I was searching for gold with, you know, I wasn't looking for that. I wasn't looking for somebody greater than me or who I perceived to be greater than me. If you haven't already read The Greatest Miracle in the World, please read that. That is an amazing book, and it talks. So that's where the God Memorandum comes from, and that's what the theme of that book is. That we might perceive someone as doing amazing and totally fulfilled and successful, but that within there's always that side within that needs to grow and expand further. So, okay, number 4, the last one, daily mindset statements. So if you don't already have something like this, you can go to the I Am statements. It's in the morning ritual and the Journey to Freedom daily activities. And then I'm going to read you a paragraph here that Wallace Wattles says, and this is what I've been reading. Every couple of days as I'm reading the book, I read this statement, and it says, all is right with the world. Nothing can possibly be wrong but my personal attitude, and I will make that right. I will see the facts of nature and all the events, circumstances, and conditions of society, politics, government, and industry in the highest viewpoint. It's all perfect, though incomplete. It is all God. Hold it is all very good. Behold, I think it was supposed to say, it is all very good. So beautiful. And, you know, that's just anytime I'm just disappointed, you know, anytime there's anything that is not growing me and making me happy, this perspective really does help to see things in this viewpoint. Personally, so here's another statement, and this is even more beautiful. Get ready. The world is incomplete, but God in my own consciousness and in your own consciousness is both perfect and complete. What a haven, what a safe haven to know that when we seek perfection, that when we seek completeness, that it is actually within us. Beautiful. So for your soul journey, there is in the files section, it is called Journey to Freedom, and it is a Google form with a morning routine. I recommend everybody get into doing that if you haven't already. And what this does too is it helps me modify the group and modify our weekly calls to what you need, because I can see what you're working on. And also the questionnaire that you filled out, that actually helps as well, kind of just to see where your interests are or needs are kind of. That, and it helps habits. Like that's the thing with doing the Google form, is that it'll create a habit for you. And, you know, eventually you won't have to use the Google form. That was what my routine was as well. But it does start in the morning, and that's when I always recommend to start, is start to do something in the morning before you start your day. Absolutely before you get on Facebook or your phone or any technology or computer or anything like that. Anytime before you turn on a screen, and I help my kids, I ask them, we're getting into the routine of helping the whole family do this. But first to get up and feed you, and before you're going out trying to feed other people, because then you can feed more wholly, right? We can feed with greatness. We can feed with a full cup versus half empty. So for your body and your bank account, your action steps are, so body and physical, any issues there is a Science of Being Well course in the files, and so much great information in that course for any struggles, physical, especially with weight. I noticed it helped a lot there. Weight wellness, it just helps me manage a healthy weight, and I love that because I'm not able to be very active. I really do all my physical fitness with my nutrition, all of it. So it's possible. It absolutely is possible. And this book goes into all the like hows without buying shakes and supplements and all that. Now I do use shakes. I do use supplements because it makes it easy for me. I love to mix up a shake to get my, 10, 15 grams of protein or whatever I need for that meal versus eating a really big piece of chicken. Like I'm a shake girl. So my sister-in-law actually has the program that I used, and I was able to actually compete and really, really get physically lean. And the only reason I did that was to show that it could be done with food. And so Science of Being Well course, and then, supplements and shakes, they do make it easier. Truth is, we all have gaps with our nutrition, with our health. We all have gaps. And I'm telling you, I've gone on and off my supplements, and I can absolutely tell a difference when I'm off of them. And I'm all about healthy aging. Like, I want to feel good. I want to feel good. We want to feel good. We want to have fun. And we can't have fun when we're not feeling good. It's the truth. We can pretend, but that's when we start to get upset, and we start to get, it's not healthy for us because we're pushing ourselves aside. So, okay. So then bank account action. So Robert always says, don't do what works. Yes. Courtney says you can only pretend for so long. You're right. It catches up, and then you got to do something about it. You're so right. Yeah. My sister. Yes. We've been talking about that. So Robert always says when it comes to business and your bank account, don't do what works, do what duplicates. It's very easy to do what works. I went for years doing what works, not realizing it wasn't duplicating. So share, every time you share your mission, your cause, your opportunity, the way you share it is how that person is going to believe and think and see how they're going to do it. So you always want to share from the heart, share what's duplicatable, be your true authentic self when you're sharing. Always lead with your cause, not with the product. That's just my perception. That's just what I love to do. Marketing is helping people. It's really simple, right? And it's very legit, right? It's helping people that have products get them to the people that are looking for them, right? It's not convincing people they need them. We're actually just looking for people that are already looking for what we have. So there's people out there that are already looking, but you know, I have a hard time seeing people and souls as a market. I do. I had the same issue in my photography business. So thankfully back then I had a photography mentor help me to lead my business with my health issues, because the reason I opened my business was because I struggled with infertility. So then I started photographing newborns. So I led with my cause and my mission to help people capture the memories of those miracle babies that they loved and wanted for so long. Some of them, so then my market ended up being first-time parents and also parents that had struggled with fertility issues. So it was really amazing. So it does pay off in the end to lead with your cause, even though in the beginning it might not seem that that's the speedy route. It can get quick. You'll create momentum and it will start to create a snowball effect. It's absolutely for sure. It happens. Having a backup plan and building an online stream of income is a necessity. No doubt about it. That was the reason why I had such a hard time in my photography business when my physical issues started, because I didn't have a backup plan. These days, working online is so simple and so duplicatable that there's literally no excuse not to do it. If somebody needs that, right? If somebody needs a financial resource online, especially from home, there's just no reason not to consider working in this type of marketplace. I love introducing new people to it that have never been in marketing. It's really interesting to see them start to see success, and I just love helping people. Just a lot of times it's just one or two things out of order or to change or to add to your daily routine, right? To start duplicating. I focus on duplicating a team. I have just that kind of mastermind team perception. And when I keep that, it helps me keep a good frame of mind when I'm meeting people and talking to people. You know, is this person a team-minded person? Is this person only talking about themselves? Is this person interested in world causes, like helping others and that kind of stuff? Or is their profile all selfies and all about them? You can easily kind of discern that when you go to different profiles and take a look. So then for action steps, so you should already be, you should already have your morning ritual started. At least one item in the morning to do. Not a lot to ask, and it's big dividends in the future. Like I just can't even tell you the strength I find every day simply in the fact that I've just found a consistency with my morning routine. It helps me. God wakes me up now for that. I used to set my alarm clock, and I don't even set it anymore. I automatically wake up. It's usually crazy early, between 3:45 and like 4:30 or something. But it's a very, very obvious call to wake up, and I usually meditate and pray, and then I'll go back to sleep again. Sometimes, if my kids are all still asleep and everyone's still down, you know, I'll then take a rest. So know that if you do get up early, it all balances out. You're not, you know, don't be fearful that you're going to be tired at the end of the day. Believe me, it all balances out. So the morning routine, and then you're going to, you know, this was a big thing for me in the beginning, was my self-talk, really focusing on, and that was one of the things we covered today, stating beautiful things to yourself, stating great things to yourself always. And then we're all sharing, right? We're all here on Facebook. Post a couple of times a day, motivational, inspirational. Let people know you're here. Connect with them. Anybody that's liking your photos, your videos, sharing your stuff, always go to them. Send them a message every single time. Believe me, it pays off. It's for a reason. You're connecting with them, and you're growing trust, and you're building a relationship. And in the beginning, I never followed up. I never kind of went back to check up on people. And I'm grateful now that I do, because what happens is a lot of people that you're connecting with, they don't always feel as confident, right? And as strong as you might be feeling that day as you're reaching out to them. So they might not reach out right away. They might not message you back right away. I see people see my message, and then I'll be, you know, connecting on their pages, and they still will, I'm trying to remember now. I got lost. Sorry. Hey there. Hi. Thank you for joining. I see you listening. Thank you so much. I muted you out. If you need to say anything, please unmute yourself. Okay. So I lost my train of thought there. Connecting. Oh, yes. So, and then sure enough, a couple days later, I'll get a message from them. And it'll just be, thank you for the gift. I always send a gift right away, Robert's book or Melody's Power in Words. And they'll then start to open up. But it's very normal and common for a lot of people to kind of be surprised that someone's reaching out and saying hi and connecting, sharing a gift. I'm not spamming them a link. I'm not trying to put them in a group right away. I'm just sharing a gift. First. And that kind of makes people wonder, who is this? It's a beautiful thing because people do like to make real connections, even though a lot of times that's not what we do. And Facebook tends to appear to be very, topical, not very deep. And for a long time, that was what it was for me too. But when you really dig into your friends and your relationships and your chats and your messaging, use voice messages, let people know how you sound. They will connect and trust you so much quicker and easier when they hear your voice, because that gives your intention. Our voice absolutely can reflect our intention and where we're at in our heart. Maybe we're feeling a little emotional that day and we have a cracky voice. That's okay. To let people know that you have emotion, and that you're a real person. I really value that when people are real with me. Do Facebook Lives, share what you're learning. Don't hesitate to share, even if it's just a couple of minutes. My 10-year-old is about to start doing Facebook Lives. YouTube Lives. She's so excited about that. And then invite. Make sure you're inviting. Send people messages. There's about 10 to 15 times a day. I'll go to new people's pages or friends' pages and like their fan page and then say, hey, I just liked your fan page. Everything is so amazing over there. You're doing such great things. If you'd like to support my fan page, here it is. And I leave them the link to my page, and everybody always, it's kind of a like for like. And then you're connecting to them, they're connecting to you. And it's kind of a quick way to connect with someone where you're not really building a chat or anything. You're just sharing likes, right? Liking each other's pages and reaching out and actually asking for them to support you. That's really big too. And then edifying is another big thing. And I cannot remember if I mentioned this on the last video, but this is really important. I actually made a video edifying my mentor and one of my other coaches in the computer group I'm in, and they are in the files section of Journey to Freedom group. And if you haven't seen those already, you can go in there and look at those testimonies and consider creating a testimony of your own for somebody in your life that's helped you. My kids are knocking. They know my time like clockwork. Consider making a video and then uploading it to YouTube or Facebook to share with your friends. And then of course, one of the other big parts, and I mentioned this earlier, is giving. It is always giving and just living in that giving mentality that, I almost have that's my purpose in Messenger when I'm meeting new people, is to give and be a giver to them. Maybe nobody's given them anything in a while. Maybe they haven't gotten a gift in a while. When's the last time you got a gift, from someone? As adults, we don't find that happens as often, right? So it's delightful, I think, for those that have the eyes to see, for those with the heart and the ears and, who connect with us in those ways. It's just a beautiful way to connect, and it is the most ideal way to start a relationship. It's the law of reciprocity, and that's what Robert and Melody give all of their success to. It's the law of reciprocity and giving first. That's a reason. I don't know if it is, but Robert wrote a book, and literally that's all he does is give it away. He has it for sale on Amazon, but he's a giver, and I try to follow that as well. So I always recommend everybody to do that. And then I know that Teresa, I still am thinking about your fiery, beautiful, perfect day. You wrote me. If you haven't, you wrote for you, but shared with me. So if you haven't wrote a perfect day yet, do that. It's important to visualize it and think about it. It's great to do that in the mornings or at night, but it's a next step to write it down. When we start writing it down, I'm telling you, the more you do this, these things start popping up and happening. And then what happens is you start to realize you're writing your perfect day, and it's today. Beautiful. Beautiful. Yes. Anything is possible. Just limitless possibilities in this world in all areas. Like anything you see, like it's a beautiful thing. The best way to see it is if our spirit and if God is unlimited, then we are also unlimited because he is within us. And it's just so beautiful. So I love sharing all of these, this wisdom that I have found, and I hope that you have found this valuable. So we can have question and answer time if you have any questions, or if you have anything to add to this, if anything popped in your mind that you want to share, please come out. You can just unmute yourself. This is not school. You do not have to raise your hand. Just pop on up and say something. Yeah, we're totally unschooling here, guys. I've been researching unschooling, and let me tell you, what a paradigm shift. Yeah, so that's kind of what we're going along at home. And it's actually the ideal perspective as well when it comes to mentorship or coaching or anything like that, because when people are learning, it's all about them. It's all based on the learner. It's not based on the teacher ever. If the teacher has a mouth and talks and talks and talks, it makes no difference if the learner's not listening. So learning is really what it's about. It's really not about the teaching. It's amazing. So I love you all. And if you have anything to share, please come on out. Otherwise, thank you for joining. And and also for people that are here now, Teresa, she is online right now, and she actually won our CBD dog treat giveaway. Yes, that my girls and I did on Facebook. So go on to our video tonight and congratulate her and tell her yay, and that we're going to have a good time mailing you these. And the girls already have wrote little notes and stuff to include for the person that won. Yeah, so they're really excited to share. And I do want to mention in closing, if nobody's going to come out and say anything, I'm going to go ahead and add, the giveaway was actually a great, I would consider it successful. It attracted a lot of people to us that weren't already attracted to us because we don't have pets, so we don't post a lot about pets. So recently, though, I have been intentionally posting a few more things about pets, and I'm noticing now that the live videos are absolutely an attractor factor. They will bring you people. So I've connected with several people now that have pets and that are looking for something like what we gave away, but they didn't win. So now I'm going to send them a message and say, sorry you didn't win. However, I have a good friend, Teresa, that won, and she actually has them available for sale. So I love sharing team links. When it comes to products and when people are really looking for a product to help them, I really like connecting them with someone. I like connecting people to people. I think it's been more successful from what I'm seeing than what I was doing before. So I always like recommending them. You don't have to do that. Obviously in the beginning, when I was first growing my team here, I didn't do that, right? I needed to get people in my organization so that I could qualify for compensation. So there are priorities. Make sure you got your priorities down as far as what your goal is in your business. And if it is compensation, then you've got to make sure you qualify for that first. Then you can support your team and help others advance. Because as you're helping the people coming on advance, or whatever they're doing, anybody in your life, really whatever they're looking for, helping them advance in their life, that in turn falls back on you. You can call it karma, you can call it God. I call it that principle of power within us, and it is making us all great. And I love you all, great friends, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.